Hello, welcome to the podcast Ready to Conceive, and this is episode 1, season 2. It's been a little bit of a break between season 1 and season 2 because I was busy seeing my patients, getting loads of training in, thinking about various structures of support. And today's episode is just sort of a little recap where we are, what's happening, and what you can be thinking about on your journey to get ready to conceive. Now, I insist that we are helping you, any professional that's working with you, we are helping you to get ready to conceive, because or even if it's a transplantation of the embryo, it's still a conception, and everything we can do is kind of, it's like making bread. I always think about this process as about making bread, where you need all these super ingredients of everything kind of leavened well, and everything's prepared, and then you put this bread in the oven at the right temperature for the right time in the right circumstances, and then you wait. And that's what we are doing for you. We're trying to help you get ready. Anyone who can promise you 100% guaranteed result, in my opinion, is just a little bit kind of deluded, really, because no matter how much we try, things can happen or can not happen. But knowing, I think that this certainty that you've done everything in your power to be able to conceive, and this is what this space is about, to empower you, to support you, empower you, provide you with insights, knowledge, how you can get ready to conceive. Now, in my work, I've been working like all this time that you haven't heard from me. I was working, and there's 3 things I can say that are really super important for getting ready to conceive. First, really important, this is a partner project. You need to work together with your partner, and your partner should be asking all the same question as you asking, because I've seen several kind of couples where the partner wasn't quite on board. Probably there were different reasons for that, but one of the reasons is people are overwhelmed. There's a lot of work, a lot of pressure on at work, and like sometimes it's the female partner will tell me that the male partner can't join the call because they're busy at work, or they didn't make space for this consultation. And for me, this is always an alarm bell, because if somebody is overworked, overwhelmed, stressed, they're not in conception space. They're just literally not in that space. Now, let's not go like overboard, but in terms of, let's all kind of, like leave job and start getting conception and downshifting and stuff like that. No, that's not about that, but it's about finding this right balance in terms of how is your life structured? What is it that you're doing? Maybe this conception doesn't happen just because there's no space in your lives for this new life to come into, and male partner, or like this is a 2-partner job anyway, raising a child. I can tell you, based on my 2 children, their father is, I think, more important for them than me now that they grow, and he provides them with all the structure and insights and loads of other things. But anyway, coming back, it's a 2-people job, and if you are trying to do it on your own, it's like you're flying with just one wing. You need both wings to be able to fly. So this is a partner job, and maybe sometimes before seeing a specialist like me, who's just, in a sense, the work that I do is structured that way that you're both primed already. You're like, okay, you're coming in to see me, you're saying, what is next? What can we do? What is it? What are the steps? And this is where my role is. However, if you think that there is a little bit of like territory sort of needs to be prepared, ground preparing work, maybe you need to see a couple therapist or a couple counselor who will help you to just kind of have this. If you think it's not happening just through the conversation with your partner, and maybe this work needs to happen before you come and see a specialist like me. So number one, partner, partner, partner. Number two, give yourself time. Give yourself time and a strategy. There should be a time and a strategy in one place. What I'm saying is, it's not like when the modern concept is that you try for 12 months, if it didn't happen, you go to IVF. Or you tried for 6 months, if it didn't happen, you go to IVF. It's not like we perceive it in the functional medicine and naturopathic world. What I'm saying is, you need to start getting ready before you start trying, because as I always say, eggs 3 months, sperm 3 months, this kind of magic number of 3 months, where whatever you do in these 3 months, this will be the embryo, this will go into the egg that will make an embryo in 3 months. So if you've got any chronic conditions, they need to be kind of brought, you need to be brought to as best state of health as possible, prepared, and then this 3 months where you're just like getting ready, you know. So if you're saying, oh, we've got IVF next week, next month, unfortunately not much can be done. Yes, something can be done. For example, if there was a lot of pelvic inflammation, this can be worked on, but a major stuff, no, you need time. And don't just wait for these 12 months until you get ready. And they're like, well, nothing happened in 12 months. Can we have an IVF? Yes, but with IVF, there's two things that people, and I'm hoping to have a really good expert in IVF on this podcast. I've already reached out to them, and I hope everything goes so that we can talk more about it. So with IVFs, first of all, some clinics, just the statistics says that at least 2 out of 3 IVF procedures do not result in a pregnancy. 2 out of 3, more than a half, do not result in a healthy baby, healthy pregnancy, healthy baby. And second is, it's a lot of drugs, a lot of medication. And if you can avoid this medication, and this medication will have long-term consequences on your health, so if you can avoid this medication, first of all, the better you are prepared, the less medication you may need. And also, I'm working with one of other services called Plan Your Baby, which I hope to bring them to the podcast as well. What they are helping with is your kind of assisted reproduction, which is a step before IVF, which a lot of people just skip, basically, where you can be monitored and some minimal medical intervention can be done to support your natural conception. Again, for natural conception, you need a healthy sperm and a healthy egg, and that's what I'm helping you with. Get to a healthy sperm and healthy eggs, because no matter of drugs will, yes, the drugs can release the egg, they can help the follicle to mature and release the egg, but the quality of the egg is something we're working on. Unfortunately, very few tests are available to test the quality of the eggs. I'm keeping an eye on it, and we'll update you once there is more data. And the other thing is quality of sperm. If your partner has got any gut problems, any back pain problems, any chronic condition, the sperm is affected. Now, there are 2 tests that can be done. One is just DNA, general sperm test. 3 tests can be done. One is general sperm health test, looking at motility, at morphology, that can be assisted through your GP. Second test is a DNA fragmentation test. I absolutely insist that anyone who's going to go through IVF does this test, because you need to know, before you start drugging yourself with this massive amount of drugs, and before you commit to this amount of stress and cost, you need to know, is the sperm good quality sperm to create an embryo? Because I mean, I would say that, in my understanding, if your general sperm test is not looking very good, the DNA fragmentation might not be, like, almost likely it's not going to be good. But if you've got a good sperm health test and you're going for IUI, where the individual spermatozoa will be used, then in that case, doing DNA fragmentation test is super important to kind of help you have the hopes, because you don't know what is in the DNA status. However, if you get a DNA test, not very good results of DNA tests, we can work on that. And there are other ways of testing, and there are other ways of working through that to help you get to the better result and have more chances in your next IUI cycle. And the third test I mentioned was the combination, like there's more and more work done on vaginal microbiome, which I work with, and I'm trained with specifically into work in that area. And there's a complementary test called seminal microbiome test, which can show you where the problem is, because there's more and more understanding how these microbes work, creating pro-inflammatory, either directly damaging DNA or creating pro-inflammatory terrain where a person is just more difficult to conceive. And yes, some of the conditions are just antibiotics, where I'll refer you to a doctor, and I work with, as I said, with a clinic, Plan Your Baby. They can do this work for you, or your IVF IUI clinic can help you with that, or GP can help you with antibiotics. So anyway, there's help there. But my point is, give yourself time. Don't wait until it's like too late, you know. And also this time is I remember one of the episodes I already recorded about honesty. Have an honest conversation with your partner where they are about children, and think and feel about it. Don't let it slip. Like, don't sleepwalk into that. When like you're 38, have a chat with your partner, or 35. I'm proudly saying that I told my husband that I want children on our date too, because I was just not in the space to start big relationship if they wouldn't result in a family. And he said, ready when you are, because kind of it's a longer story, but we felt that we were a good match. That's what we are so far. And so yes, give yourself time. That was number 2. And the third is the strategy and the relevant support. There should be a strategy to help you. And it's not a scattergun approach. Like, oh, I've done a little bit of that. I've done a little bit of that. I've done a little bit of that. I've taken the supplements. I read this blog. Get a specialist on board. Especially if the next alternative is an IVF or IUI, adding this extra work that I'm offering, and as a fertility specialist, and I'm trained to work in fertility, and I'm proudly did this work, and I carry on training, and I get all the training possible to make sure that my naturopathic contribution is relevant, up to date, and it's looking into like a wider context. And the strategy should be there, and they should be able, the practitioners you work with should be able to offer you a strategy. Now, a strategy is a route. For example, like when I'm working with somebody, I'm telling them, these are 3 routes there are, and our priorities. We work on route number 1, that is like less sort of, we work and then we decide, you know, I'm saying that, okay, this looks to me like a very serious situation. We need to address that because that will impact everything. Then this situation is maybe that's not your problem here, but we need to keep an eye on that. And the third is, for example, this is nice to have. We will keep working on that. In some cases, and age is one of them, is when I'm saying we need to test. We need to test before we start. Like, anyway, my work is based on test results. I don't start working until I've seen a vaginal swab and I've seen a blood test for both partners. And if the vaginal swab has got any problems, I want to see, well, semen analysis is just out of question. It's done always. And then if there's problems with vaginal microbiome, I want to see seminal microbiome. And this is my point of integrity, where if I don't know what's going on with you, I cannot help you. And from there, from your basic results, we start looking into what is needed. And some people, it's just find the practitioner that's right for you. I am very happy when test finds nothing, because I know, okay, that's not the problem. Yes, we need to keep looking, but the least problems there are, the better, in my opinion. And yeah, some tests we do and they bring negative results, and to me it's good news. You don't have to work on that. And so we will look for further question there, and sometimes we need to cast the net wider. For example, if your vaginal swab didn't bring the results that we thought they would, but you've still got symptoms, and then it means there's probably gut problems that might be affecting that, or something else affecting that, and we need to keep looking, and we need to keep trying to work it out. And for example, the hormones affect the status of the hormones affect pretty much everything. It affects the tissue responses, it affects the given the temperature, you know, that the basal temperature, the way we measure it, we can see what is going on here. Is the milieu too hot or too cold, you know, and all of that. Milieu is the terrain, the space, and that can also be impacted. And the strategies, basically, look for a person who can offer you a strategy. It's not just, oh, let's go gluten-free. For many people, going gluten-free will help, and that's absolutely is absolutely true. But if this gluten-free suggestion comes just from just observation, you know, from just sort of, it should be part of a bigger picture. For example, I always test for a full thyroid panel for both partners, because the amount of times it's not been looked at, or the people were told that my thyroid is fine, and it isn't. And thyroid is like a master temperature controller, if you like, and it's a master metabolic controller. So everything gets a little bit less energy than they need, and then like it's always this a little bit is the difference, could be the difference, or it can be part of a bigger picture. So strategy, and support. Like, look out for a support structure. The way I work with my patients is it's a 3-month support package, which can be extended if needed. But the support comes every week. There is an either email or a call or a Zoom call, and I'm always there. We are discussing what's happening. How has your period happened? And we are doing the monitoring. Depends on the situation. My preference is Mira, but if somebody's already been using OvoSense, I prefer keeping that, or some other sort of fertility awareness, temperature situations. But this is, for me, this is like day in, day out. I get the data from you, plus we do other tests, plus we'll look at other data, plus your emotional status, plus your food. So all of that comes together as a package. And for some people, just what I'm doing, I'm taking off this overwhelm. Even if they tell me, okay, we have spoken to the IVF clinic, this is what they told me. All right, I can help them to translate what they told them into what should happen, you know, or how this can be supported, and also helping make decisions. Obviously, like, all decisions are made and by you and your partner. You make decisions, but understanding the consequences of these decisions and longer term consequences, and being able to ask questions. Come back to your IVF specialists and ask questions which you didn't know you needed to ask. That's part of the package as well. Now, I absolutely love this work. I mean, I do like every aspect of it. I like being able to be present for you. I like being able to stand for you, just to be by your side, to kind of, and to offer all these fantastic solutions that are available out there that can help you to get ready and let this. I believe in a miracle of conception. Even if you do an assisted reproduction, there is still this moment where the embryo kind of develops or not develops. The embryo is transplanted, and then it's like it takes on or it doesn't. So I believe in that miracle of conception. And as I was saying, that for many moons I was thinking like, oh, what my role is in there. I mean, the children are given, if you like, by the, you know, the higher mighty, whatever religious or non-religious spiritual concept you have. And I think, what's my role? And this role of getting ready, and like role of kind of being the best you can be, so that this can happen in your life, and you will experience this gift of being a parent through giving birth to a child. Of course, there are other gifts. You can become a parent through adoption and parent of your partner's children. That's absolutely there. But exploring this avenue, and what I want to say, that for me it's super important that you have got this understanding, evidence-based understanding, that no stone is left unturned. For example, every time I have a complicated situation where we need to look further, I reach out to the partner labs, probably all support teams in each partner labs that know me well, because I'm there with my questions. I'm asking, what else can we do for this person? What else can we look into? And yes, it means more work. Yes, it means more money. But would you rather not do this and just say, oh, I've never been told that it's possible? Or would you rather know that there is this possibility, I can explore this avenue and go and do that? Another aspect here, that all these problems that we're talking about in terms of fertility context, most of them are chronic problems that needs to be looked at anyway. Now, this is the best time ever for you to just like get ready, get prepared. Yes, some of the things will be put like on a kind of a longer term, on a longer term basis. You know, you'll say, okay, we're not going into deep detox if there is no time. However, if there is time, and you, for example, had like some more serious stuff going on there, like a chronic Lyme's or a mold problem, or some other problems which really need to be looked at, or some autoimmune flares up, so condition flare up, that all needs to be addressed ideally before you get pregnant. Because I have had quite a difficult pregnancy, number one, because I was just, at that moment, I was totally clueless. Well, I wasn't quite clueless, because I managed to kind of very quickly, using my scientific background, my knowledge, I managed to very quickly work out what was going on there. But I couldn't do much to support me through that pregnancy. Pregnancy number two was very different for me, because I was like, all right, I know what's going to come. I know what's happening here. And I was so ready. And the pregnancy number two went much, much easier. And it all resulted in a healthy baby, touch wood. And that's what I'm saying. From my personal experience, also, I didn't have difficulty to conceive. I was taking some herbal remedies and herbal preparation from the clinic as I was doing my studies in herbal medicine, and I'm very grateful to the clinic supervisor who was helping me in that work. But I didn't have to face massive, like, oh my God, we can't get pregnant. But my pregnancy was difficult. So when I'm working with somebody, I know that the goal is not to get pregnant. The goal is to have a healthy baby and health postpartum, so that you're not like knackered from all the work that you've done. You're not knackered from all the drugs you had to take. You're having this smooth flow, smooth work. One last thing I'd like to say, that I have been trained in a Taoist plant energies modality, which I call an ancient healing, which is offered separately from this work, and I offer it in the clinic in Horsham, and I find it so helpful for just leave along the sort of Taoist understanding of body and how the body and mind and the spirit all work together. Just if you leave that alone, this kind of a session like this helps just to take off the edge. For me, from like a Taoist perspective, it helps to clear the scene, if you like, and kind of rebalance the energies. And there's a understanding of the sort of jiaos, which are like energy centers in the body, and they all need to work well. And I find this work really helpful for like just sort of to kind of bring balance back and restore this energy flow, which helps do all the other elements of work much easier. And so you're most welcome to come and see me for such work in Horsham. And even if you see some other specialists, because this is non-invasive therapy, non-invasive healing process, you're not offered to take anything in, and it's very much like acupuncture, but I don't use needles. I use the energy and the laws of the movement of the energy, that as described by 5-element theory. So you're most welcome to book a session with me and come and see me for that work. And yes, well, thank you very much for watching, listening to this episode. And I'm very much looking forward to season 2. There'll probably be more dedicated episodes to some problems. Please let me know which problems you'd like to talk about. I've got loads of people that really kind of lined up for the podcast, and I hope we can help you get ready to conceive. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.